Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Bionicle Inspiration Series. This episode is Halloween themed, spooky, spoopy, scary skeletons, everything to get you in the mood for Halloween. So we got three scary, spooky, awesome mocks today to help you get inspired in this year of Halloween. Year of Halloween. Apparently it's the whole year. There you go. So hopefully you can get inspired, as that's what we do here on the Bionicle Inspiration Series. We show you three, maybe four really cool mocks to help you get inspired for what you can build next. So without further ado, let's begin. The first mock we have today is by Jack the Mad and is called the Headless Horseman. So I had to pick this because, well, I mean, it doesn't really get more Halloweeny spooky than a Headless Horseman. But look at it, it's awesome. Check out this really cool horse design. So overall, the shaping on the horse is very, very well done. There's no gaps, everything just looks really whole and really captures the overall shape of a horse. Little details like the ears being Vizirac feet, or like the way the tail's shaped by just being a whole bunch of Hero Factory armor that's put along a flex tube, as you can see through there. Very well built, very nice designs all around. And then going on to the rider, he's used this weird piece, which I've always thought was very, very difficult to use. It's from an Exoforce set, and it's such an odd color. Like, it's sort of translucent, and it's a mix of red and white. And I don't know, I've just always felt that it's really difficult to use and to fit into a mock. But he's used it very, very well here because it looks like the weapon's covered with blood, which obviously is very fitting for having very scary, spooky mocks. And I think that's a very, very good piece used for what's a very difficult to use part. Also, he's done the little motif of being able to take off the head, and a very good choice of mask there because it's probably one of the closest masks we have to looking something like a pumpkin, and that looks really, really awesome. Even just little details like having these G2 spiky trap things on the shoulder pads there really adds a nice flair of like evil and sinister. Gives a really nice sinister vibe to it, which is a really simple little addition, but really completes this and really makes it look and really pop, make it look better. The two mocks together really work well, and I think that's something that would be really cool to try out. You know, maybe you've got a tower that you've just built, or maybe a mock that maybe just needs a little something extra. And building a horse for it would honestly be such a cool way to complement a mock and make it look even cooler. Because as awesome as the Headless Horseman is on his own, he looks even better with a horse to go with him. So maybe some of your mocks could use a horse, or even some other animal that they ride on, or even a vehicle or something. That could be a really nice way to really complement a mock. So overall, a really fantastic, well built, and very well shaped mock from Jack the Mad. The next mock we have today is by Avery Robertson and is called the Groundskeeper. So again, going with the Halloween vibe, that this one has definitely a more obvious pumpkin head, which is very well shaped and looks fantastic. Even some nicer details like having these brown Technic pieces coming out of the top there, and then finishing off the little whip and the little flower and stuff like that, and even the mushroom on the side there, really adds a nice level of detail to this mock. And that's something that I think is very helpful with system, is being able to put it on a mock just to give a little bits of like splashes of extra detail. And I think that's done very well here and really fits the overall vibe that this mock has. Because a lot of those plant pieces really accent the fact that it's a pumpkin and kind of adds a lot of life to it in more ways than one, because it looks like stuff's growing out of it and it's actually alive. And it also adds a lot of character to it, which really, really helps. Little details as well with a few more system pieces on the hand there really give this cool vibe of kind of roots, which is how I sort of see it. A lot of the sort of spindly arms there kind of look like further roots growing down from the pumpkin, and really gives a very scary looking hand design, which is really fitting with the kind of theme we're exploring. Another little detail that I really like is the fact that he's just holding a very simple candle. That obviously uses one of the torso pieces from the system Bionicle sets that we got, the cool little playset sets. And one is a very, very well built candle design, not only for a Bionicle knock, but also for system builds. And just adding that little tiny detail like that really helps to, again, add more character, as well as give a really unique, I guess you could say that it's a weapon, but it's also not. But it also opens up another spectrum in that sense. You can give your mock not just a weapon, but, something that fits it. Like, he's a groundskeeper, he obviously needs a light source. So having him hold a candle really fits his character in a way that maybe a weapon wouldn't quite fit it as well. And so adding something like that is a really nice addition. Also, little things like the dress. Well, it's not really a dress, like the tail coat of his on his back there, just being one of those dragon wings. It's a really nice addition. Kind of adds a really cool angle and really continues on with that sinister vibe, and overall fits everything else with the MOC. It also sort of flows kind of well with the sort of shoulders, how they've got the little gold highlight there. But overall, a very fantastic, again, very well shaped and very well designed MOC from Avery. The final MOC we have today is by DJ OK-san de Jockson, however you want to pronounce it, and this MOC is called the Harvestman. So very, very cool skeletal design here, and it's not using a huge amount of parts, which is always something I like to stress in these episodes, is how you can easily build a very, very cool looking MOC and not need thousands of parts. So overall, he's mainly just used a lot of different claw pieces, whether it's these larger ones or some of the smaller ones like on the hands and the eyes there. And that's really good because it allows you to kind of have a nice sense of flow throughout the MOC. Everything works well and blends together because it's a lot of repeating parts and repeating elements. But also, it really helps with that skeleton design. The eye design here is really, really cool. It uses, to my knowledge, a cut flex tube to get this really cool small eye design that also has a pupil in it, which really, really adds to the overall scary design that this MOC has. And also, only giving him one eye is also very creative and very, very, very cool because it adds a lot of character to the MOC. Even just a little detail like adding the chain there really brings out the scarier elements in this MOC, and it's just a small little addition, but it's something that really, I think, brings the MOC together. Another thing that I think is really cool is adding this accent color of dark tan in the back. Having more of these sort of horn pieces there really helps to continue the overall design with the skeletal structure, but also helps to make the MOC pop more, so it isn't just a simple black and white MOC. Also, repeating the textures on those two larger claw pieces is a greater way to create even more flow in the MOC because, well, the parts are really just a smaller and larger version of themselves. But the same concept kind of applies with using all the different white pieces, like I was saying before. It's a repeating texture, it's a repeating shape, and so everything really flows nicer together in the MOC. The same sort of thing's done with using some of the Hero Factory shells and then those shin pieces that come in the Ultra Build sets. It's the same texture, so everything really flows nicely. So overall, that's 3 really, really cool Halloween-themed MOCs for you today. Hopefully this episode inspired you to build your own Halloween-themed MOCs and really get in the spirit of things and have some fun building some scary stuff. So, thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestions for future themes or MOCs that you want to see on the show, whether they're yours or your friends or someone else that you know, feel free to look in the description for some links to some of my social media, and you can suggest it there, or just say so in the comments. Also, be sure to check the links in the description for the MOCs that you saw in today's episode. There's some very fantastic builders in this episode, and they've all built some very, very cool MOCs that you have not seen in this episode, so be sure to check those out. Anyway, happy Halloween, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now, guys.